Hello indie game fan, I love a good deal as much as the next person, so when something is a massive 90% off, I usually cannot say no, so here are some no-brainer picks for the Steam Summer Sale 2021. Let's begin with Zombie Night Terror, an action strategy game where you are the cause of the zombie apocalypse. Strategically pick which human to transform into a zombie in order to cause the maximum damage over 50 levels. The basic zombies are kind of dumb, so of course there are special zombies that can aid them along, giving me somewhat of a Lemmings vibe with fantastic monochrome pixel art. Their narrated trailers are a work of art as well, so enjoy the video that follows on a free update, and if that doesn't convince you to get it, I don't know what will.
This is Zombie Night Terror, a game you already know and love. But what could make Zombie Night Terror even better? Zombie Night Terror in Space as a free update. Astronauts have found a monolith on the moon. One of them has a vision of how to prevent a zombie apocalypse. But you are the zombie mastermind to save the apocalypse in space. Face new enemies like pesky astronauts, hulking astro-goliaths, infuriating ninjas, the holy terror of priests and priestesses, and killer kamikazes. Hack, slash, and massacre your way through a brand new story spread over 10 levels in space, while avoiding new obstacles like exploding barrels, plasma cannons, steam, time anomalies, and full-on low gravity. This summer, uncancel the apocalypse in space, because it's time to blow shit up again for the very first time.
Dive into 50 new rooms, unlock and upgrade new weapons and items.
Quick little trailer for Super House of Dead Ninjas, an awesome pixel art arcade action platformer of interest, where most interestingly, this developer didn't go on to make Xenocrisis and Battle Axe, so it's interesting to trace their roots.
Neck deep in dead ninjas. You're into that, right?
If you grew up in the late 80s to early 90s, the cinematic platformer will be a genre of interest with games like Prince of Persia, Another World, and Flashback, so if you're looking for a similar nostalgia kick, the gorgeous pixel art game The Way will be of interest. It's a sci-fi entry where humanity is now a spacefaring civilization, and you play as a man who lost someone close to him, scouring ancient writings and delving into alien planets in hopes of bringing her back to life. Fair warning, while it did release in 2016, perhaps the developers took a little too much inspiration from games of the past, and that the animations can be a little rough and the controls not as fluid as you might like, but if you're familiar, perhaps it's emblematic of the cinematic platformer. Of course, the pixel art in this is stunning and is one of the main draws in my opinion, and at this price point, why not give this a go? I remember being super impressed by the ASCII RPG SanctuaryRPG Black Edition back in 2015, having one of the most unique looks and pretty classic dungeon crawling RPG systems.
What the heck happened here? Trauma in the conscious mind. The nightmares have come unconfined.
A gorgeous game from 2017 is the action-adventure title Figment, one that is set in the mind of a young child who has experienced trauma, and it is up to our grumpy old hero to save the day by defeating the nightmares and to bring peace to the mind once again. The highlight is the rhymes and songs in this, almost like some sort of musical adventure, but just listen to some samples in this trailer.
Visitors are delightfully inconvenient.
Defeating a nightmare, I'll confess, should put an end to all this mess.
Dirt and filth will soon prevail. Your screams of pain will be of no avail. Your bowels contract, you swell with gas. One big pot of rust will be your last.
Who the heck was that?
Let's find out.
It has some beautiful hand-drawn art, almost like a children's book, but the combat and puzzles are pretty decent as well. This has a sequel coming up later this year, so if it looks interesting, do give this a shot.
Look at this place! The trauma's already taking root.
I'm saving my step for kicking your butt.
So hold on, and soon comes the day. There are sights you must see to believe that.
Get up there and catch him!
Hold on, I might be far away, but I know I will see you again.
Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe was one of the earliest indie games that I remember playing, being an arcade action title about clearing blocks, only you control a little block character in the playfield itself, being an awesome, smaller experience. Pulling another indie classic from the archives with Eldritch Reanimated, a roguelite first-person shooter before that term was even a thing. As the name proposes, there are plenty of Lovecraftian horrors lurking around the corner, where it does take elements from immersive sims like Deus Ex and Thief as well. This many years after release, the game has been packaged with the free Mountains of Madness expansion with a 10-story dungeon and new monsters and weapons, so if you're into the retro FPS look, this will be of interest. A very cute and vibrant pixel art entry is Miles and Kylo, a platformer runner hybrid that's also simple in design but excellently executed, showing how games need not be super complex to be enjoyable. This has 36 levels and 5 boss fights, with a nice variety of biomes, enemies and mechanics, as well as a time trial mode where I do think that it's worth the money just to look at all the awesome pixel art.
Time to move.
What was that? Huh?
Alright, so this title skirts the line of indie since it's from a larger team, but Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun is one of the most impressively executed real-time stealth tactics games of all time, making it a cannot miss at this price. You're controlling a squad of 5 assassins in real time, working for a newly minted shogun as it seeks to stamp out conspiracy and rebellion. There's an impressive visual style, still looking awesome despite it being 5 years old at this point, showing how to do non-pixel art games in a timeless manner.
Such a fine view.
The 5 characters and their unique abilities combined in a fun way, really giving you so many options to tackle any scenario. The feudal Japan setting in the Edo period is awesome as well, having some of the most impressive architecture and environments, making this a joy to play. The developer did go on to make a similar title but in the Wild West in Desperados 3, where there's a standalone expansion to this game titled Aiko's Choice coming later this year. So pick this up if it looks good and wishlist the expansion to know when it releases. One of the most criminally overlooked games of 2019 is SuperEpic The Entertainment War, a Metroidvania entry set in the year 2084, where video games are dead since they have been exploited by the capitalist swine and their microtransactions. In the midst of this, a raccoon and a llama continue to play retro games, but are called to action by the anonymous equivalent in this world, so it's off to destroy the corporation in this Orwellian society. It's a little meta and on the nose with its theme, but does have some clever out-of-the-box game design with the QR codes, but a solid entry in the genre that not enough people have played, probably since it was released in December, so if that describes you, please check this out, taking the #1 spot. For my picks of the best Metroidvania indie games right now, check out this video and I will see you after the jump.